So yeah, my name is Elisa and I am making my dream wardrobe for... Okay, again. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisa and I'm making my dream wardrobe from scratch, and I'm taking you along for the ride so maybe you can recreate some of the pieces at home. So this week I am jumping into a project that is very close to my heart and is actually about this dress that I'm wearing right now. It's a vintage wrap dress, a hand-me-down from my mama, and it's probably from the year 1990 or 1991. Something along those lines. I fished it out of her closet about 2-3 years ago, asked her if I could have it, and she said yes. And I really love it. It's kind of funny how, like, obviously we all know that, but things come back around. So this dress I feel like looks a lot like the dresses that Rouge make, which is the brand by Jeanne Damas, the French influencer slash designer now apparently. I'm gonna show you. It's a wrap dress. It is very simple. It has this nice lapel that is kind of like folding over, a bit like a bathing robe or something like this. And it has pockets as well, which I love. And yeah, obviously when you walk, you can see a bit of leg action, which is really nice. I've been procrastinating on this project quite a bit. Maybe because of what I wanted it to live up to, or also maybe because of the fabric that I worked with in the end, which is a beautiful, beautiful green cotton sateen fabric. And I thought that it was going to be super slippery and hard to work with, but it was not at all. I traced the pattern of this dress and I then made some alterations to it to make it fit me. There are a few things about the fit of this wrap dress that I would like to change. It used to have shoulder pads and much longer sleeves, and that's something I already changed when I got it from my mom. But then also the problem with it is it's a few sizes too big for me technically, so I wrap it around me very tight, but that also causes quite a lot of gaping action going on in the front, so it kind of like gapes open quite dramatically, you know, if I don't watch it. So I have to be a bit careful when I wear this dress. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into the tutorial.
As I mentioned, I traced the original pattern of my mom's dress on paper and made a few changes to it, like extending the torso height by 3 centimeters and making it smaller by removing 2 centimeters of width at each princess seam of the bodice. I made a quick mock-up of this new pattern with some scrap sateen I had to get a better feel for the assembly of the pieces, which I will show you how to do now. I grabbed my 2 front and 2 back bodice pieces and removed the paper pattern. For the back piece, I placed the 2 side panels right sides facing with the center back panel. I pinned all the pieces together, trying to mind the slight curvature of the seam, and gave that a simple stitch. I repeated the exact same steps with the front bodice pieces, placing the 2 side panels right sides together with the 2 center front panels, which held the lapel and the collar. To finish the front bodice, I placed both sides right sides on top of each other and closed the center back seam at the collar. I repeated that same step for the facing of the lapel and the collar. I gave everything a good press with my iron. At this point, I had realized what a lovely material the cotton sateen was to work with, so all fears were for nothing. I placed the facing right sides on the bodice and started to pin them together, starting from the center back. I sewed all of that together and pressed it with my iron. This is what we have so far. I again placed the pieces on top of each other, starting in the center back neck, right sides facing, pinning my way around the neck hole and shoulders. This was probably the trickiest part of the project, as I had to sew around a corner that naturally tugged the other way. If you manage to sew this part neatly and snip the seam allowance, it would fold in the right direction and allow you to overturn everything. After that, I simply closed the side seams and serged all the seams on the inside to prevent them from fraying. I also finished the collar by top stitching the facing closed. To finish the bodice, I understitched the seam allowance where the facing and center front meet towards the main bodice pieces, away from the facing, to allow the lapel to fold over more easily and reveal a crisp edge. For the belt, I simply cut 2 long strips of fabric, folded them over, gave them a straight stitch and overturned them. After a good press, they were done too.
I don't even think I need to say how hot it is. Like, I'm swelting. I'm swelting. Yeah, I'm melting and I'm sweating and I'm swelting and I'm like drop sweating is what's going on. I'm really hot right now. I'm leaving the UK next week, so I gotta do some sewing so you guys can watch videos while I'm away. I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I have like 5 projects that I want to finish before I leave. I don't think I'm gonna make it, honestly, but I'm gonna try. I want to get as far as I can today on this dress. I'm not gonna stop before midnight if I have to. So yeah, let's do this. I'm ready.
The skirt was very simple and consisted of 1 back skirt piece, 2 front skirt pieces plus pockets. I placed all of them on the ground to pin everything together, front and back right sides touching, as well as the pockets. I attached the 4 pocket sides to the skirt and top stitched the seam allowance of the back sides down. I overlocked all the raw edges to prevent them from fraying and closed the side seams. I decided to finish the center front edges of the skirt, which would be very visible when wearing the wrap dress, with hemming web. This is usually used for trousers, but also works to finish skirts. It's basically fusible interfacing that would allow me to not top stitch the edges to give them a seamless appearance. No pun intended.
Okay, dear friends, it's the next day and I'm so pleased with the process I've made last night. Basically, the dress is finished. The only thing that's missing are the sleeves, which I will have to figure out what they are going to look like now, because I only have very little fabric left. So it's either going to be cap sleeves that are going to be a bit ruffled and gathered up here, or maybe I can do like a whole normal sleeve, but we'll see about that. The inside is looking nice and neat as well. I only need to overlock the waist seam that I've sewn together last night, and I did this with the facing. So as you can see is I pinned all of those things together and then I overturned them to have the strap come out nice and neat. So it looks like this. And then also I need to do the hem, and that's about it. So I think it will take me maybe another hour. And so maybe I can wear it even this afternoon. It's a Friday, it's sunny outside. Seems like a very nice dress to wear.
This part was heavily dependent on the amount of fabric that I had left, which was not a lot. I decided to go for a slightly flared sleeve with small hand-pinned pleats on the apex of the shoulder. I grabbed a simple sleeve pattern that I had somewhere in my stack and made a few alterations to it. After cutting them, I finished the side seams on each sleeve and pressed the cuff with a 2.5 cm fold. I top stitched it closed on my machine. I then pinned the sleeves into the armholes and hand pinned the excess width into small pleats that stretched about 6 centimeters into the front as well as 6 centimeters into the back, which gave the shoulder a bit of a 1940s flair. I sewed everything in while being mindful not to break my needle on my machine. And with that, the dress was finished.
You're gone now, will you coming back? Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind, it's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you've traveled the world, all the spaces inside your heart, I hope I'll be your end destination. I hope I'll be your life-changing sensation. I hope I'll be something that you won't let go. I'll be your high when you fall down low. I hope I'll be your end destination. You're far away and yet so close. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Maybe you've watched some other videos of mine as well. If you haven't, go check them out. If you do like my videos and you've not yet subscribed, please consider pressing that button below. Maybe also give it a like. I am pretty new to YouTube, but I'm really enjoying it. And if you do as well, then please come on to this journey with me. I would love to have you around more often. So, see you next time.
I hope I'll